Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Serenity Resource Connector. Whether you're connected live or you're watching the replay, it is always a pleasure to have you here. And if this is your first time tuning in, a warm Serenity Resource Connector, welcome. You're tuned in to episode 2 in the Year of Early Childhood Development series. We go live on third Thursdays of each month with that series all the way up to December. And we have joining us this week on this second episode, two representatives from the Early Childhood Commission. And just in case you missed the first episode, you want to go back and watch that. It was all about Play Month back in February. And the comments were coming in like rapid fire. We had practitioners, parents sharing, as well as a team from the Early Childhood Commission sharing on the whole matter of play and the benefits of play and all of that. So let's get the representatives for this episode in. We have Mrs. Michelle Campbell coming on, Director. Hi, Director of
Hi.
Cross-sectorial Coordination. And we also have joining us Ms. Sophia Stewart, who is the acting communications manager. Ladies, welcome to the Serenity Resource Connector.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. So we usually have a lot to talk about on here, and 1 hour goes by so quickly because we have so much fun sharing, empowering our citizens. And so, Ms. Campbell, Director of Cross-sectorial Coordination, what does your portfolio entail?
Good evening, everyone.
It sounds like a whole lot of work.
Well, cross-sectorial coordination really looks at how we coordinate early childhood development services with our partners, with our ministries, agencies, and departments, and really how we deliver these services. So we have a national strategic plan, and within that plan, it really outlines the goals and objectives. So that's what the department really focuses on, delivering and making sure that we're hitting our targets within our national strategic plan, which is really our roadmap for services for the early childhood development sector. The department also looks at research because evidence-based research is what we use to plan for the services and programs that we offer. So those are the main two areas. And also, of course, looking at partnerships. We can't do it without our partners, and resource mobilization is very important to support the activities at the ECC for the entire early childhood development.
Awesome. I knew that was a big portfolio just by the name. Right. So you are the resource connector for the Early Childhood Commission, connecting with all the different stakeholders, right?
Absolutely.
All
Yes.
right. So share with us what some of those partnerships look like. Just in brief, what some of those partnerships look like.
Okay. So, our partnerships, we work both with public and private partners. So, some of our partnerships,
Share with
for
us what some
example,
of those partnerships look like.
all
Yes.
right. So, for example, Ministry of Health and Wellness, the partnership looks at the Child Development Health Passport. With the ministry, we would have developed the passport that looks at child development, that looks at educational development, and it really tracks the child until they're age 18. So that's one partnership. Another partnership is with the Chase Fund that supports certification of our institutions. Another partnership would be UNICEF. UNICEF would have helped in developing our screening tools that we use with our children at age 4, with our parents. So that's what some of the partnerships would look like. We have a number of partnerships. United Way of Jamaica has helped schools with certification, has helped with COVID relief. There are numerous partnerships that we have. Recently, Barita Foundation has stepped on board to support institutions as well. So we're constantly working on a daily basis with various partners
Barita
to
Foundation.
support.
Awesome. And I saw the highlights of that partnership with Barita, that nice, lovely check that was handed over.
Absolutely.
Looked good. It was a good look. It's always great to have partnership to strengthen what's already there. Are you hearing me clearly?
I'm getting a delay.
Awesome. Just want to make sure that we are connected. All right. Yes. So, all right. So let's move into some of the accomplishments, because I know it's a whole lot that the Early Childhood Commission has accomplished over the years.
Absolutely. So, as you know, the commission would have been established in 2003 with the function of keeping the strategic goals and objectives for the sector, making sure that there's quality care, education, and development within the
What
sector
about you, Miss
itself.
Stewart? Are you getting a delay as well?
Yes, there is a slight delay
Yeah.
and sometimes the sound gets faded, but we'll continue nonetheless. So go ahead.
Right. So when we look at our achievements, the one achievement that for the commission really sums it all up would be our national strategic plans. So we've had a strategic plan, which is a 5-year map that outlines the goals and objectives. And the first one would have started in 2008 to 2013. And there we would have outlined our 9 strategic areas. So I'm going to go through them. The first one looks at effective parenting, education, and support. And within this particular area, we would have one, developed our parent places. We would have developed programs for parents. The second area really looks at effective preventative health care. So looking at healthcare at the early childhood level. Also looking at screening, diagnosis, and intervention for children and families at risk. Looking at safe learner and well-maintained ECI facilities. So looking at our 12 standards and what we do at the institutional level. We also look at effective curriculum delivery by our trained practitioners. I talked a little bit about our, yes, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. We also look at the approach that we take towards early childhood education, our partners having that intersectorial link, because everyone has a focus on early childhood. So all of the services are not here at the commission. So we have to make sure that we're partnering with those experts
Yes,
that
we're
can
hearing
bring
you.
and deliver. We also look at evidence-based decision making, looking at the research, what we're collecting in the field, through our inspectors, through our development officers, and making sound decisions for the sector. Public education and awareness. This is where Ms. Stewart comes in, and really looking at the sector and sharing with the public the achievements of the commission. And lastly, we're looking at resource mobilization. So some of the highlights, some of the achievements, one being parenting. And coming out of parenting, we would have established and certified 48 parent places. Okay. So those parent places are hubs for our parents to go to for support from our field officers. We have community relation officers for our region. So parents would have access to those individuals and support. So we conduct training, we conduct seminars, all really based on the needs of the parents. Coming out of parenting as well, we go out into the community. So we have our ECC Pandakana, where we're going into communities, talking to families, talking to parents, talking about what the community needs are, and looking at early childhood development. Okay. We also have Read Across Jamaica, Read Across the parishes, Read Across the regions, where we're going in and we're reading and we're advocating that literacy. Literacy is both emotional as well as educational. So we go in and we bring in professionals and parents and community members to read to our children. And then we have our ECC Community Flex. Now that flex is really going in and listening to the community members and hearing what type of support they would want to see from the ECC and other community members, and going in and just having that rapport, that discussion, and going back in to support the community even further. Now, when we look at health, we look at the Child Development Health Passport, which is a huge accomplishment,
Okay.
which was launched back in 2010. And we have almost 100% of support of our parents using the passport. They take that passport with them everywhere for their clinic appointments, and using that passport to really track the development of their child. So we're quite pleased with that. Also with health, we have standards not only for our institutions, right? We have our 12 standards, but just to
Okay.
let you know, we also have standards for parenting, and we also have standards for the health sector, which really looks at our early childhood cohort. So when a family is going into their appointments, they should really experience early childhood as well, development and best practices as they're going through their
Yes.
appointments. Um, then after that, we look at screening and early intervention. So we follow the life cycle of a child, and you're born to your parents, you're
Mhm.
going in for your appointments in the health sector. And then now we want to capture if there are any type of concerns with delays, hearing, vision, development. We want to capture it early. So we look at early screening and intervention. So we have the passport, which is the first point of contact. Thereafter, when a child is in the institution, we're tracking their development, and we have what we call our Jamaica School Readiness Assessment. So at age 4, every child in term 3 is assessed in the areas of literacy, numeracy, behavior, appropriate learning, how they're learning within their classroom environment. And the teacher's the one who's conducting the assessment. So they would have tracked them for the entire year. And now we're really looking at where they are developmentally. And then from there, we also have what we call an ages and stages secondary screening tool. So if we have to look further at the child, we invite the parent in. We have our field officers doing the assessment. And then from there, we can develop that plan to support that child before they leave us and go into grade 1. Now, we also look at the family. So we do have a family risk screening tool, because if a child is having challenges, that means the family is also having challenges. We want to look at the family as well to see what support we can give to the family. So we have a suite of tools that we use to support the family and to support the child, because early intervention is best so that they have a smooth transition into primary school. Now, we have our institutions, right? We're looking at our safe
Love the
location.
energy.
And, looking at our institutions, we know we have our 12 standards. And we have what we call our Jamaica School Readiness Assessment. So at age 4, every child in term 3 is assessed in the areas of literacy, numeracy, behavior, appropriate learning, how they're learning within their classroom environment. And the teacher's the one who's conducting the assessment. So they would have tracked them for the entire year. And now we're really looking at where they are developmentally. And then from there, we also have what we call an ages and stages secondary screening tool. So if we have to look further at the child, we invite the parent in. We have our field officers doing the assessment. And then from there, we can develop that plan to support that child before they leave us and go into grade 1. And
Yeah.
we look at first health and safety of our institutions. So we have approximately 2,600 institutions with approximately 13,000 practitioners and approximately 125 children that we have oversight for. And within our institutions, we want to ensure that we're offering quality because quality is best, quality in the
Yes.
environment, quality with our teachers offering the programs and services to our children. So, right now we have 282 institutions certified. And what that means is that the institutions have met the requirements from the 12 standards, the legal requirements that really speak to best quality. So, they're offering trained teachers in the classroom. We're staying within our ratios. We're offering the best curriculum. And that's another achievement, our curriculum that we have for birth to 3 and 4 to 5 year olds. Huge accomplishment because it's standardized and everyone is using the curriculum as a guide along with other tools to support the learning and development of our children. And of course, we couldn't do it without our 12 standards, which is the guide that the inspectors really use to go into the institutions to assess. Now, coming out of that, we look at teacher quality because we know if we have quality teachers in the classroom, the children will do their best. And from there, we offer, oh my goodness, trainings every week. We have our training calendar. We send out our training flyers, and we're doing training in terms of curriculum. We're doing training in terms of first aid and CPR because we have to be safe. We have to keep our children safe in the
Oh,
environment.
yes.
We're constantly offering professional development. I want to talk about PD Out, our professional development institute. And I know, Miss Stewart will talk more about it, but I want you to know that last year we went virtual because of COVID. And throughout our 5 days, we had 3 main days of workshop sessions. And can I tell you, we had approximately 18,000 individuals online between 13
18,000.
18,000 across
Oh,
the island, across the
awesome.
region, across international waters. We would have had
Wow.
persons joining us. And, Ms. Stewart, she'll talk a little bit more about that. But it just really goes to show how important that whole life cycle is, looking at
Indeed.
parenting all the way through teacher quality and delivering of the curriculum. Now, those 5 areas, we're really looking at the internal process of development for our children. And thereafter, we have to look at the working environment. So, who's around us that's offering these particular services? So, we have to take that coordinated approach to how we meet
Indeed.
and work with our partners. And from there, looking at the evidence that we're collecting to make policy decisions going forward. Now, we listened to our stakeholders, and this is a huge accomplishment as well as to looking at public education and how best we can promote what we're doing, and then looking at resource mobilization, how we're bringing in additional funds to the commission. Now, we are currently on our third national strategic plan. So I want to step back just a little bit
Okay.
because the first plan really laid the foundation for the work that we're currently doing. So we began the whole inspection process and we began at 20%, and now we're over 80% of our institutions with a permit to operate. So that really shows the spread and the improvement over the years. Within our first NSP, we really looked at our 4 to 6 year old children. And in our second NSP, we began focusing on our 0 to 3. And for 0 to 3, we know that learning really starts early, and we want to give them an extra
Yes.
start before they get into the public and private institution when they
Right.
turn 3. So what we have is a 0 to 3 strategy that looks at prenatal and our infants and our toddlers. And it takes a holistic approach once again. And we want to promote early stimulation through the strategy. We want to promote good nutrition and social protection. And coming out of that, there are a few pillars, but one that is being instituted right now is what we call our Brain Builder program, right? So we have Brain Builder
Yes.
centers where we have our environments. It's like a daycare, but they're government funded. So they're at no cost to our parents, and their children are getting stimulation within ratios. We have trained teachers, caregivers providing the stimulation, the nutrition, and the social protection. And currently, we have 116 across the island, and we're continuing to increase through funding from our parent ministry, Ministry of Education and
Right.
Youth. Now, in addition to that, we want to continue on that path of making sure that we're supporting our families, we're supporting our teachers, and so those are just a few of the accomplishments from the commission itself. I can go on. I have a few more, but nonetheless, those are the main
Yes.
initiatives. But I also want to slide in our app for parenting because we do have a first
Love
1,000
it.
app, which really comes out
Yes.
of our 0 to 3 strategy. So it's an app that our Jamaican families can download. It looks at child development. It looks at, tracking their child through the various stages of development. And it also has local information about our institutions, where they are, who's certified, who has a permit to operate. Where can I place my child? Because all of the information is right
That's
there,
right.
very friendly. So our parents, our families can download from Google Play, from Apple, and place that app on their phones and begin tracking their children. They can put in their appointments and all different types of things using the app
At
itself.
no cost.
At no cost. Thank you, Miss Stewart. At absolutely no cost whatsoever. So those are just some of the accomplishments for the commission overall.
Listen to me. That's a whole lot of accomplishments, and you're not even finished
Yeah.
as yet.
No, no, no,
You're not
not at
even
all.
finished as yet. All right, let me see if I can grab this and share it in the general chat. Right here. There you go. All right. Okay. So we have live viewers joining us from several parishes, and we have uh, so many of the ECC team. Team ECC is just phenomenal. Sharing in the chat, picking up the different programs, 60 days to go to PDI. And I don't know if you all have been following the ECC social media platform, but I get those pop-ups that comes on rapidly showing the different engagement. Oh yes, a lot of accomplishment.
Yeah.
But what I'm hearing is that with this robust system in place, because I'm hearing a 360-degree focus in terms of not just the child, but parents, the practitioners, and the cross-sectorial collaboration, the funding entities coming on board to strengthen, which is what is very important. The In terms of supporting what we already have, we don't need to
Mhm.
reinvent the wheel. We just need to improve on what
Right.
we have, which means that if we get all our young children through these institutions, we should not be having those challenges when they get to the
Right.
primary school stage.
You are so right.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm
Absolutely.
hearing.
Absolutely.
So
Because there would be a smooth transition,
that's it.
coming from home, going into the health sector, thereafter going into the institution and leaving the institution and going into grade one. So there would be a smooth transition throughout the process.
That's it. We just need to utilize, and that's part of the whole mission of the Serenity Resource Connector, to highlight these resources, the opportunities that are available, so that all our citizens know which resources are available, where to locate them, and how to locate them, because that's part of the challenge as well. So we're seeking to make the connection here and the live viewers are loving it. Amazing. And this isn't even half of what the ECC have been up to, because I see more than 10 pop-ups per day from the ECC team. And I'm not joking.
Yes,
More
yes.
than 10 pop-ups. The ECC is on a roll, right? And so, all right, I know that Miss Stewart is just there and itching to share from her end. So let's bring in Miss Stewart into the discussion, the conversation. Miss Stewart, you're gonna share with us. It's gonna start with. Let's start with the overview of the ECC. We're talking about the accomplishment. So let's zone in on the ISO. What is this ISO certification?
Wow. A recent accomplishment of the Early Childhood
Yes.
Commission. Good evening, Jamaica. Good evening, the Serenity Resource Connector family. And thank you so much for having the Early Childhood Commission.
Pleasure.
Now, even though we have our 12 standards, guess what? Only the best is good enough. And
Indeed.
so ISO means International Organization for Standardization. And there are various standards, ISO standards, and what we have been certified in is the ISO 9001 series that speaks to quality management system. So as we encourage our institutions to stand for quality and maintain the standards, we too believe that we need to up our game. And you'll see it. This team is all about energy, all about giving quality, and we will take the
Indeed.
corrections and we will improve on what we already have. So more on ISO. So organizations use this standard which speak to quality management system. And it's basically to ensure that there is consistency within our products and services, and we are going to meet and exceed customer expectation. So in
Awesome.
ISO 9001 2015, so to zoom in exactly on what we have applied to our system, we have 10 clauses. And the first three clauses speak to scope, the reference, the terms, the definition, while 4 to 10, which runs from the context of the organization to the improvements for actions, are what we actually get certified in. So this implementation is actually being funded by the World Bank. Now, what are the benefits of ISO applying this program to the Early Childhood Commission? We are going to increase customer satisfaction. We are going to ensure that we have clear processes, and we are going to own into preventative measures. So we're not going to sit and wait for problems to occur. We are going to ensure that we have a mitigation plan. Not to
Awesome.
say that we didn't have a plan before, but that we are going to ensure that we improve on what we had before. And at the end of the day, as in the communication department, we are going to enhance the public image of the Early Childhood Commission. So from one point of the country to the next, you are going to know what the Early Childhood Commission stands for. Now,
Amazing.
this program we actually started in December 2020. It has been a journey, right? And my fellow colleagues on this platform will agree with me. Each and every department working together to ensure that we ensure that our quality policy statement stands for what it is meant for. So
Yeah.
I'll share our quality policy statement. that the Early Childhood Commission is committed to provide an integrated and coordinated delivery of quality early childhood programs and services within a healthy, safe, and nurturing environment consistent with legal and regulatory requirements. We are committed to continual improvement in meeting and exceeding customer expectations through a highly efficient, motivated, and performance driven team. You will never get a better team in Jamaica than the Early Childhood Commission. And we
True.
all stand
Love it.
behind that. We are the
So
best and
true.
we
So
stand
true.
for the best.
Mhm.
I love it. I tell you, if you have not seen the first episode in this series, you really need to go back because the energy of the ECC team is really at another level, right? Because I mean, I don't know how many persons knew about the ECC, the Early Childhood Commission, over the years, but they did not just come on the block. They have been here a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But it's as if it's one of those slow runners that just overtook everyone and they're just out there and they're stamping their presence. I'm loving it, really loving it. And because it speaks to the heart of our nation's development, our young ones, because it is key pivotal time now for us to be focusing in that area,
So true.
and you are getting it right. You are getting it right. So continue, Miss Stewart. I know you have
All
a lot
right,
more to
thank
share.
you. And as I noted earlier, we started this journey in December 2020, and we know that we are now in the year 2022. Now, our first objective, quality objective, was to actually be certified by December 2021, but it did not happen. Nonetheless, we were not deterred. It did not slow us down because we had a goal in mind. As it stated in our quality policy statement, we are a performance driven team. And so in February, it was February 14, can you imagine? Stage two audit. That's how we started on Valentine's Day. Or that so
Mhm.
we were having our stage two audit going right up to February 17. And on February 17, when we were having our closing meeting, we were told that we were recommended for certification. Now, you can't imagine the pandemonium and the excitement on our social media platforms and even in offices and resource centers right
Wow.
across the nation. You wouldn't believe that we didn't actually get certified. And then it was February 28th, yes, closing off the month of February, play month, that we were told it's official. We are
Oh,
officially certified. And I can encourage everyone on this platform and everyone in Jamaica, we are going to maintain this certification. When I say only the best is good enough, we're talking about the nation's children, and we
indeed.
can't, what we do, we cannot take it for granted. So we are going to go higher heights and deeper depths in what we
Amen.
do, but we are going to maintain our standards and maintain our quality. And we must commend the entire team because it was not a one-man initiative, but it took the entire team to make
It
this
does.
possible. So kudos to the entire
Indeed.
Early Childhood Commission team for working together and for us achieving this, not just for us, but the nation's children.
Indeed. Yes, I can't even begin to imagine what that felt like. We're on the cusp of COVID and working throughout all that and to because I know ISO certification is no child's
It's no
play,
joke. No joke.
international standard, right? Which means that what it translates to is that ECC is among the creme de la creme
Yeah.
on the
Indeed,
global scale.
we
Just
are.
let's understand what that means, right?
Mhm.
Because if you were listening earlier, it was shared that the personal development trainings that are taking place is not just local, it's global, right? You have
Right.
persons from the different
Yes,
regions
it
that
is.
connecting, which means that we have another awesome product in the brand Jamaica product that we ought to be celebrating and just encouraging. And I invite you to share the word, spread the word, ensure that everyone knows, every parent you know, every prospective parent understand what the ECC team is
Yeah.
doing and how they can benefit from these various resources, because teamwork, it takes teamwork.
Yeah.
Yes, it
And
does.
right, and even though the ECC has done all of this, it would be for naught if we don't take advantage of these resources that are available,
Mhm.
right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I just love this assignment. This Serenity Resource Connector, I consider everything I do an assignment, you see? And
Yeah.
I just love this. Really love it. Right. And this happened in the year of early childhood development. That is phenomenal, because I don't believe that you all saw all of this coming. Did you?
Right.
In terms of how
As
the
I told you, our initial goal, objective number one, was to actually achieve it by December
Right.
2021. But as
right.
you rightly put it happened in the best year, the year of early childhood development.
Right.
Oh Lord.
While doing all of our regular work and making sure that we were maintaining our standards and visiting our institutions and you know just balancing and making sure that we were moving forward. Looking back at our practitioners, another huge achievement. Ms. Stewart just got me excited. We began in our first NSP where we had 25% of our practitioners, just really moving from a level one into level three and above.
Three.
So right now we have approximately 45% of our practitioners at a level three or above, meaning a degree, an associate's, a bachelor's degree, and higher with those qualifications. So we are just moving. And to be able to coordinate such a huge sector, having that partnership with our parents, our practitioners, our management committees, the community as a whole, really speaks volumes as to what we can achieve collectively for the
Indeed.
betterment of our children and making sure that they're on that path for loving learning as they leave and go into grade one in that primary school experience, and keeping that for life and success in life. So really looking at that vision 2030 as well. That's where the impact is going to be felt, and we see the impact
Yes.
now at the early childhood level.
Yes. We just need to get the same energy to go
Yeah.
across to the other public sectors and sector entities, and we will exceed that 2030 deadline if we have this kind of energy, because
Yes.
I mean, to achieve
Just need to be
so much,
driven.
that's it. To achieve so much in such short time, and it's not like you have mammoth resources. I know that the team is really not that large compared to the spread. So the resources were spread very wide, but you managed to make it effective in terms of achieving their goals. I just
Absolutely.
love it.
Mhm.
Amazing. All right. So tell us some more about, we have lots more
Yeah.
happening in this year. Tell us some more about some of the good stuff. And oh, I did not get a chance to join in the play day activity. I really wanted to. Yes.
Remember, play
Miss
does not
Play.
end. Play does not end.
Right.
It goes on.
Yeah. So Team ECC Clarendon, you owe me a call to let me know when the next play day is. Yes, because this big child wants to get in on the play. Amazing. So tell us what's coming up. What's coming up on the
All
calendar?
right, the year of early childhood development. Now, Frederick Douglass said it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. And we know how critical the first 1,000 days are. And the fact is, if we don't invest in the critical years now, we're going to pay dearly as a nation in the long run. So we started this year, January, by engaging our partners in our legacy project. Now, our legacy project is creating more inclusive institutions. And the official launch, the goal is to increase the number of inclusive infant school spaces and creating more free spaces for family with children with special needs. So remember, as a nation, in order for us to grow, we can't leave anybody behind. No one will be left behind. So these learning environments, they will cater to children with special needs and have them integrated in the school system. And this integration and inclusivity is aimed at our legacy project, and we are going to be using the existing structures. So we are going into institutions, we are using their existing structures, and we are going to create the space to ensure that we have inclusion within our system, and that is something we stand for. It's a part of our standards as the Early Childhood Commission. And the official launch of these institutions is set for November 2022. So engagements would have started, and we are hoping, we're still sticking to the date for November 2022. In January as well, we had our official launch with the proclamation being read on January 25 that this was the year of early childhood development. Then we moved on to February, and Mrs. Whitty saying, boy, she missed it. It was Play Month. But even before
Oh yes.
February, we actually started our Reimagining Play series from 2021, and we brought it over into 2022. So we had a month of play activities, and persons will attest, boy, it was exciting. Persons realized the value of play, and they were reminded that I need to incorporate this principle in everyday teaching and learning. With this Reimagining Play series, we have our monthly webinars every fourth Thursday. So grab your calendars, mark the date that every fourth Thursday at 2 p.m., we have a Reimagining Play webinar, and the topics are just exciting, and you don't want to miss them. The one coming up for February 24 speaks to applying play with music and also inclusion. So imagine putting all those three areas together, and the effect, the impact that you will have at the end will be tremendous. And guess what? Our speaker for this upcoming webinar is Mr. Andre Adman. You don't want to miss it. And while we do these sessions on Zoom, they are streamed on YouTube. Now, under the Reimagining Play series, we're going to have play equipment renovations. So that is why I say play does not end. We mean to carry play as a principle and its importance for the entire year of early childhood development. So you will find play equipment being renovated throughout the country, as well as learning kits distribution. And then further down, we are going to connect the plans that are written. So how do I integrate these equipments and these resources in the learning kits with the regular teaching and learning? So I need to ensure that everything is connected, everything is integrated. And that's just under the Reimagining Play series. Now, under the Parenting series, don't put down your calendars. You are going to mark the third Thursdays of each month. And that's when we have our monthly parenting webinar. If the day changes, you can't miss. You will be informed by the Early Childhood Commission, whether it be via WhatsApp, via email, or via any one of our social media platforms. You will be informed. Mrs. Campbell would have spoken to our community flex, and driving within our community flex right now is the first 1000 days app. And Mrs. Campbell was getting so excited about the app. The app is there, it's useful, it's free. You're not going to have to pay. Go to the Google Play Store now, go to the Apple Play Store now, and download the first 1000 days app. As a expecting mother, as a family who plans to have a child, you want to get on board now with that app, and you will not regret it. We are having meetings with the early childhood development community council groups, and we would have seen that on the social media platforms. I would have seen pics from meetings set for the parish of Clarendon. So I know that you are on board, and if the other parishes are not on board, let us get on board. Our forefathers, they had it right. It takes a village to raise a child,
That's
and it
right.
has to be a partnership with every entity, not just the public sector, but the private sector. And if you're not a partner with the Early Childhood Commission, you need to come on board, not today. Let's start
That's
today.
right.
Because for us to get the nation that we want, we all have to come together with a level of unison, and get it done. Now, in addition to our Read Across the Parish and Read Across the region under our parenting series, we have our story in 30 minutes. And all these activities, once you're putting them on social media, ensure you use the correct hashtag to tell the world that reading matters.
Matters.
Then
Indeed.
I'm still not finished under our parenting series. We're going to have our clinic talk. So we're going back into the clinics. We never left, but we're going to remind them with the same level of enthusiasm and drive that, hey, guess what? Get your children immunized. So in August 2022, we are going to have an immunization drive within our resource centers. I hope you're making note of these. I hope you're marking the dates on your calendar, highlighting the month. In April, we will have our national church service where we pause and we celebrate and we give God thanks for a
Indeed.
year of early childhood development. And yes, in the season of Lent. And the service will be face to face and streamed online. So you can stay tuned for more information as it relates to our service. The end of March going into April, because our environment matters, and persons may not
Yes.
realize it's not just now, but if you check our 12 standards, when we speak of ensuring that you have the right equipment in the in the school environment, ensuring health standard 6, standard 8, safety, we want to ensure that our children, Jamaica on a whole, understand that we need to take care of the environment. So, over the years, we have been doing our tree planting exercise. And this is even one pick that you will see in our ECC Gleaner supplement that is coming out this Sunday. So you
Okay.
want to ensure that you purchase your Sunday Gleaner to ensure that you have your very own ECC Gleaner supplement. Now, and make note of that as well. Now, at the end of March, going into April, along with our tree planting exercise that we do every year, we are going to ensure that there is a drive to protect, to love the environment. If we don't take care of the world around us, nothing will be left for the future generation.
Indeed.
So we are going to have our Eco Art Day competition, and the winner will be announced on Earth Day, April 22, 2022. And while we are announcing the winner, we are going to be announcing our next Eco Drive activity, which is establishing school gardens. And selected ECIs will be assisted in establishing and maintaining gardens. I'm going to give you a minute to catch your breath because I know that you are just
Indeed.
the sure all of this can hold in this year that has started. But we are a driven team and we are going to make it happen, and you just need to get on board. Have you caught your breath? Just in
Wow.
case you are out of breath.
Oh,
When
yes.
you get to the month of May,
Child
Child
month.
Month,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
May 16 to 2022, the Early Childhood Commission will have its third annual Professional Development Institute. And our theme for this year, Innovation in Early Childhood Development from Vision to Action. One thing that the pandemic has taught us, even if you were innovative before, you had to ramp it up. So
Indeed.
we have seen the need that we need to ensure that not just some persons realize that they need to be innovative with engaging the nation's children and children in general right across the world. So we have taken this theme and we have a set of speakers lined up that you do not want to miss. In fact, we have added an additional track to what we had last year. So last year, we had 6 tracks. Track 1 was parenting. Track 2, early learning and care. Track 3, stream. Track 4, transitioning. Track 5, technology in early childhood development. Track 6, leadership in a pandemic. And track 7, advocacy. Guess what? We have to be our children's lawyers and we have to understand what we need to say and do in this 21st century. This PDI is not one you want to miss. So you need to, the link is there in the chat. You need to register now. You need to get on board. I know we have about 7 minutes left. So I'm coming down. I'm coming down. For the month of May, we are going to end the month with a children talent showcase in our regions. I also want to add, during our PDI, last year we would have honored our partners. This year, with all that our practitioners and parents have gone through ensuring that the children stay connected, we are honoring you. So you will find that on our first day, May 16, we will be having an award ceremony. And we have a lineup of awards, and you on that day you will know the name of the teachers and the institutions, even the chairmen who are being awarded for what they are doing as it relates to nation building. And it's necessary. It
Indeed.
is necessary. Even after applauding our partners last year, it is more than necessary to award our parents and our practitioners. So I tell you, this is one PDI you don't want to miss. Remember, it's the year of early childhood development. Coming down as we celebrate, and you'll find one of the articles in our Gleaner supplement is celebrating our resource centers. So we are currently putting plans together for our literacy fair, culturama, and you are going to have resource center days where things will be placed on exhibition, and you will go in, view, get tips on what you need to take back to your institution, and the dates and additional venues will be announced. We will end the year with a dinner, and you will hear more about that dinner. But truly, it takes a village to raise a child. And as I said before, it's not just the public sector, but the private sector. And we salute our partners who have come on board. And I say to you, if you are not a partner with the Early Childhood Commission, you need to get on board, because the truth is, we all want to see a better nation,
Yeah.
not just for the children who are here now, but those who are to come. Over to you, Mrs. Witter.
Indeed. Oh my word. And not to worry, just in case you miss some of the excitement that's to come, we do this every third Thursday, 8 p.m., right here. Thanks to the kind endorsement of Tate's Pharmacy, right there in the heart of Maple Clarendon, for endorsing this series to bring it here to the Serenity Resource Connector space. And of course, the Serenity Resource Connector program partners, Serenity Advisory Consulting Services, Sha-Gore Aggregates Limited, Cousins Construction Services Limited, and the National Self-Serve Wholesale. Our businesses are serious about development, and they are loving the children. The first response I got was, the children are our future. Of course, I'm on board. So it's just amazing how things are aligning. And I echo your sentiments, Ms. Stewart. Those who are not yet on board, come on board. Come on board. None of these things are happening by chance. The way things are actually aligning, because even as you were preparing to include the disabled community, members of the disabled community, this year the act was passed in terms of the whole inclusion. So everything is
On Valentine's Day.
aligning on Valentine's Day while you were pressing forward to finalize, right?
So true.
Yes. So amazing stuff. All right. Any final thoughts before we wrap for this episode?
Just wanted to say thank you for having us. And Miss Stewart would have mentioned, it takes a
Pleasure.
village to raise that child. And just thinking back, we have our community councils, which is another huge achievement, which really looks at community members, parents, families, looking out for the best interest of the children within their community. And this is a group of persons that anyone can go to. We want to make sure our children are in school, that they're getting their health checks and all of that happening at the same time. So our community councils have been established across the island through, again, our parenting, our community relations officers and the manager. So taking that village approach. The accomplishments just keep growing and growing, and we encourage our practitioners, our parents, our partners, and our children, of course, just to maintain and continue to work with the commission. And we'll see the difference that we want to see going forward. So thank you for having us.
Amazing. And as you mentioned that, the Clarendon Justices of the Peace will be launching its association in short order. So I'm sure that's something we can look at in terms of how we can partner with the Justices of the Peace in the communities to be
Great.
a part of that process. Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, and as we're sharing there, I have a little sharing to do as we're talking about parenting. I think this is really fitting. We have an upcoming parenting webinar. This is the third since we've started the WWR parenting seminar. Will be on the Sunday, the March 27th at 5 p.m. We do virtual. And let me just share with you the link where you can actually connect with the WWR community. That's another area where I support the whole matter of strengthening the parenting structure in Jamaica. So we'll be having a seminar focusing on navigating co-parenting. And this topic came out of the previous webinar that we had where the parents there requested support in terms of this area. How do they successfully navigate co-parenting? And so we'll be getting some persons who have been successfully co-parenting to share how they've been doing it so that other parents can be guided accordingly. So I just shared the Linktree link for the Worldwide Renewal community there so you can connect. Once you use that Linktree, you can connect, be a part of that community, Instagram, Facebook, and the YouTube. Be sure to set your reminder there so that you can know when we go live on Sunday, March 27th at 5 p.m. All right. Just a little public announcement there as we're talking about strengthening our parents, because there are different ways in which we can be a part of this initiative to strengthen in different areas. All right, so we are a little over the 1 hour mark. Let me thank the ECC team again for making it another exciting episode of the Serenity Resource Connector, sharing information, educating others on what's going on. Who knew that education could be so much fun? Ah, great
It
stuff.
was our pleasure.
Awesome. All right. And I do look forward, God's willing, to do this again to facilitate another conversation with the ECC team next third Thursday in March. And you will hear more about the upcoming events each episode so that you can stay abreast and go over and connect with the ECC on their various social media platforms so you can stay informed and catch the excitement and just pass it on to your communities, okay? Thank you again, and thanks to our partners for endorsing this episode and the many others. We have some exciting things to come, so do stay tuned. Set your reminders if you're not yet a part of the Serenity Resource Connector community. You're there on YouTube already, so why not join in? Just to give you a little heads up, what's shared on the YouTube page every morning at 5:15 a.m. I share the word for today. And outside of that, the only other program that's there right now is the Serenity Resource Connector, which is on Thursdays. But you'll get a little reminder 5:15 in the morning that helps with your devotions, right? Or even if you're on your way to work, you can listen in and be blessed. Thank you so much for joining us again, and we look forward to continue sharing as we continue on this journey to educate and empower. Stay safe and see you next time.